Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 991st Rome Total War Brotherhood game that I've put onto YouTube. And what a great battle I've got for you today. Just to say, this battle was fought on one of our classic battle maps, the Germanic Forest map. This is, say, a traditional battle map. As you can see, you've got the big open plains if you want to fight out in the open, or you've got the trees. And remember that barbarian factions get the winter bonus. And of course they also get the woods bonus as well. But of course, if you just bring a normal faction, you can hide your troops in the woods and still spring those nasty ambushes onto enemy troops. So as I say, it's one of our classic traditional battle maps, the Germanic Forest. Okay, our first teammate is someone who's called himself Gaul only, but is in fact Brotherhood member TR. Now he's got 15 chosen swordsmen, 1 druid, 2 cavalry and 2 light skirmish units. And as I say, this is TR's faction of choice, Gaul. Okay, of course, a lot of his troops are hiding in the woods at the moment. But as I say, he's got the winter bonus, and of course he's got the woods bonus as well, because his faction is a barbarian faction, as we just talked about a few minutes ago. So as I say, this is TR's faction of choice, Gaul. He's really persevered with them. Okay, our next teammate is Brotherhood member Vidar. Now Vidar's got 15 Sacred Bow Spearmen, 4 Cavalry and 2 Slingers. Unusual to see Vidar bring Carthage, so it'll be interesting to see how well he does with it during the course of the battle. Quick look at the upgrades on his cavalry. We've got 7 upgrades and Experience Stripe, Gold Shield, Gold Attack on his Sacred Band cavalry there. And here, can you see his Slingers have got Gold Shield, Gold Attack on? Okay, and if you notice there, you'll see that these are the Balearic slingers with good long range. They keep the slingshots in that pouch on their waist. Remember that slingers get 40 slingshots, where archers just get 30 arrows in this game. Okay, so it looks like a pretty tough army there. Our next teammate is Brotherhood member Fesen. Now Fesen unusually has bought the Greek cities faction. Now he's got 10 Spartans, 4 armoured hoplites and 4 archers. Okay, as I say, very unusual for Fesen to bring the Greek cities faction, and you'll find that those armoured hoplites can be a useful addition when you see the armies that we're up against. Okay, just to give you a heads up on that. But as I say, very unusual for Fesen to bring Greek cities, so I'm guessing this is an experimental army of his, and I think it'd be interesting to see how well he does with them during the course of the battle. Okay, so as I say, there's the armoured hoplites there. We've got 4 of those, and they can be quite effective. As I say, once you see who we're up against, you'll see how these armoured hoplites can be quite effective there. And of course he's got the 4 long-range Cretan archers there as well. And our last teammate is myself, Spartan Commander. Got a very old Roman army of 14 infantry and just 4 cavalry. Yes, 14 infantry and just 4 cavalry. So an unusually small amount of cavalry, I would suggest, for myself. Very diverse team too. We've got TR with Gaul. We've got Vidar with Carthage, we've got Greek cities with Fesen, and myself with Rome. Let's say, very diverse battle. And here is the other team. We have Brotherhood member Royer, who has bought the Pontus faction. Now he's got 12 pikes, 2 archers, and 6 cavalry. Just want to show you his battle formation there. I would suggest quite an unusual battle formation there. Quick look at the upgrades on his pikes. Oh my gosh, yes, 8 upgrades. 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. I would suggest that's probably the optimum upgrades on those pikes. And just have a look at his Cappadocian cavalry. He's just got gold shield, gold attack on. If those of you that haven't seen a Cappadocian cavalry before, there's a close-up of them. On paper they look really good, but actually when you get into combat, when you actually get into the battle, they're kind of not really that good, really. So but on paper they look good. That's what I would say there. They are the Pontus mid-range archers, dressed in their pajamas, as some people have referred to them in the past, but that's their mid-range archers there. So that is Royer's Pontus army. It'd be interesting to see how well he uses it during the course of the battle. Okay, our next teammate is Brotherhood member Stevelongshanks. Nice to see Steve back on Rome Total War. Now he's got 12 pikes, 3 archers and 4 cavalry. Okay, quick look at the upgrades on his pikes. Now there you are. Can you see he's gone for the optimum upgrades on his Macedonian Royal Pikeman there. Remember, 8 upgrades is the optimum upgrades for Royal Pikeman. And all his pikemen have got those upgrades, which tells me his cavalry, yeah, are just gold shield, gold attack. Remember, once again, we sometimes call these guys the winged horsemen because of those wings kind of things on their helmets. Remember, these guys have got a 9 charge bonus. Remember, the charge bonus is the impact and penetration a unit can do. A Roman Praetorian cavalry unit has only got a 7 charge bonus. These guys have got a 9. So that just goes to show how good they are with the charge bonus there. And there he's got his long range Cretan archers there. So that would be a pretty tried and tested Steve Macedonian army there. Their next teammate is Brotherhood member Mantu. Now Mantu's got 10 infantry, 4 archers and 6 cavalry. Okay, just look at the modern battle formation there. Can you see wide there like that? Making the most of the flexibility of the Roman units. As I say, I see a lot of modern players using their Roman army like that, not old-fashioned like my army. Battle formation. And there, a quick look at his cavalry. He usually brings good cavalry there. 8 upgrades, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack from Mantu's cavalry. So make no mistake, that is a powerful striking arm there of his army. That would be a tried and tested Mantu army. And their last teammate here is Brotherhood member Spitfyr, if I remember correctly. Yeah, they are. Now he's got 12 infantry, 4 archers and 4 cavalry. He's got mixed upgrades, if I remember correctly, on his infantry. If you notice there, can you see he's got his units in testudo? Remember, this is a real formation used by the Romans back in the day. Can you see how effective it is to repel missiles? Missiles come down on top of them. Look, they're protected. Missiles from the front, missiles from the side. Really good, solid battle formation, that. But as I say, that unit's got gold shield, gold attack on. I see other units have got gold shield, gold attack as well. But if you look further back in his battle formation there, can you see some of his units have got an experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack. So he has certainly got mixed upgrades through his infantry there. Okay, and of course you'll see that his cavalry are actually hiding in the woods, so we can't see them. Remember, the general unit in Rome Total War can't hide in the woods. So there you are, there's the enemy team. As I say, it's got the potential to be an absolutely cracking battle, and I really hope you enjoy it. Okay, at this stage of the battle, I thought we'd have a look at the cavalry count, as this could be very, very important later on in the battle. So you can see that I've got 4 cavalry there. Okay, Fesen's Greek city's army's got no cavalry. Okay, the Carthage general has bought 4. Okay, so that's 4 of his cavalry, 4 of mine. So that's 8 cavalry we've got so far on our team. And if I remember correctly, TR has got 2 cavalry within his army as well. So we've actually got a total of 10 cavalry. Okay, in our team, 10 cavalry. Please remember that. So our team, 10 cavalry. As I say, this could be really important and pivotal during the course of the battle. Okay, so we got 10 cavalry. Let's have a count up of their cavalry here. So there you are. You can see Royer has got actually 6 cavalry there. Okay, so that's 6. And go over to Steve. Steve's got 4. Okay, so that's 10 cavalry for them so far. Okay, 6 for Mantu, so that's 16 cavalry there so far. And Spitfyre's got 4 cavalry. So they have actually got 20 cavalry units against our 10. So they got twice as many cavalry units than we have. Now, just to give you a heads up on this, that could prove very, very important during the course of the battle. That's why I'm showing you the cavalry different now. Okay, at this very, very early stage of the battle, you'll see that our team are forming up. I think right from the beginning of the battle, we're looking a little bit defensive here. I think our Carthage ally here is either going to go for Pontus or Macedon there. That's why he's bought that army. Okay, our Greek cities ally probably will look to go for a Rome here. Obviously, he doesn't want to take on the long pikes of Macedon or Pontus, so he'll probably go for Rome. I'll be looking to probably go for Rome, but I don't know, I can go for any of the factions that are there. And I'm just going to suggest that maybe Gaul might be like kind of a reserve force for us there that we keep at the back of our armies there, so that Gaul can be deployed, if you like, anywhere in that area. Over here on our right flank, you'll see that Royer is moving some of his cavalry and his two archer out, those two archer units out to our right flank, probably with a view of tactically positioning his archers to shoot into the flank of us, or maybe even look to hit us with his cavalry. Okay, and here you'll see that TR has put a skirmishing unit out at the front there, probably a cheap unit there to try and attract expensive enemy arrows from the elite archers of the enemy troops there. Okay, you'll see that Mantu is moving his 10 infantry forward there in his modern Roman battle formation, as you can see, making the most, as I said before, of the flexibility of the urban cohorts there. And he's got he's guarding his archers as well from any lightning cavalry attack, as he's got his cavalry and infantry there. Okay, as I say, the enemy have got a lot of archers as well, so they can start causing us a lot of casualties, especially our barbarian ally Gaul. Could be we know that barbarian troops are very susceptible to any kind of missile damage. And as I say there, you can see our team has definitely kind of gone a bit defensive there. And remember, when your team goes defensive, of course, you kind of hand the initiative to the enemy, and you've got to kind of dance to their tune, if you know what I mean. You can only react to them. But sometimes going defensive is the best thing to do. Here you can see Royer taking his pikes over to support his archers, possibly, and his cavalry. He may well look to come round our right flank, and I dare say Vidar will enjoy putting his Carthaginians up against the Pontus pikes if he gets a chance. Okay, at this stage of the battle, you'll see that both Spitfyr and Royer's cavalry are moving round our right flank here. So this is obviously their team battle plan there, is to possibly come in on our right flank. And remember, I believe if I remember correctly, they do have archer superiority. So make no mistake, their archers will be causing us a lot of casualties. You can see Mantu moving his 10 infantry units forward, probably with a view to throw in a lot of pilers into the forward units of our Greek cities ally. As I say here, the enemy have definitely got archer advantage over us here. And they will be trying to make the most of them, shooting in. But don't forget, our barbarian ally Gaul will be a good target for them, as they're very susceptible. Barbarian troops very susceptible to archer fire there. So as I said, here you can see the enemy moving around our right flank, and there you can see Royer taking his pikemen forward there. If you notice here, I've moved my green Brutii army over a little bit here to put my pilot shield units in front of there. You can see I was on the left, moved over there to put my pilot shield formation there in front of Fesen's armoured hoplites there, to stop them taking casualties from the pilers of Mantu there. I may well integrate my army a little bit more there. Now, I was very surprised to see Royer advancing his Pontus pikes towards our Carthage ally. Remember that Carthage, when it comes to fighting the big 121-man units like Pontus and Macedon, for instance, Carthage specifications allow them to punch above their weight big time. And it wouldn't surprise me if the Carthage Sacred Banner took out Royer's troops. You can see here that Gaul here, TR's Gaul, is keeping some units in reserve, so he can deploy them anywhere that's needed during the course of the battle. But as I say, remember, like we've seen in lots of other battle videos, Carthage here does definitely punch its weight when it comes to the big 121 man units. It punches above its weight. So Royer bringing his Pontus pikes so close to Carthage, I remember at the time, did quite surprise me. But we just have to see what happens here. As I say, you can see Spitfyre's blue Scipii army there moving in. He's got his archers already shooting into us, probably, as I say, targeting our Gaul ally there. And if you notice now, I've kind of almost fully integrated my Brute army with Fesen's army there to completely cover his front battle formation there from pilot hits, as I've got my pilot shield out in front of his battle formation there. So as I say, completely integrated our armies there. And it'll be interesting to see how the enemy are going to try and combat that. But as I say, with their big archer advantage that they had, then I think, make no mistake, they will be causing us a lot of casualties there. And as I say, I felt a little bit sorry for our Gaul ally, because obviously that's who they would be mostly targeting. Although, of course, if they can get an archer onto the flank of any of our units there, they'll be shooting into the flank. So Carthage possibly could be a target there. As I say, here on our right flank, you can see Spitfyr being quite aggressive here with his Scipii, blue Scipii Roman troops there. Probably looking to throw a lot of pilers into either Carthage or Gaul, is what I'd suggest. But once again, can you see how Royer's taken his Pontus pikes closer to Vidar? Okay. Vidar didn't attack them because, of course, he would be worried about Scipii pilers going into the flank of his attacking troops. But make no mistake there, I bet Vidar has got his finger on the trigger, ready to hit Pontus with his Sacred Band Spearman if he gets a chance. But like I say, he needs to be aware of the blue Scipii infantry there throwing pilers into his attacking troops. Right, you'll see here now that Fesen is now moving his Greek cities army round here to team up with his Carthage ally there in what I believe is a joint attack onto the Pontus pikemen. Okay, so it'll be interesting to see Greek cities, hoplites and Spartans and Carthage Sacred Band trying to attack the Pontus pikemen. As I say, you can see Spitfyr now is trying to integrate his blue Scipii infantry into his Pontus ally there. Okay, so you can see that. But over here, there's a lot of enemy cavalry. Remember, the enemy have got 20 cavalry units to our 10. Okay, 20 cavalry units to our 10. And all their cavalry are elite cavalry as well. So here, as I say, Royer there has got his archers shooting into us there. And here you can see Mantu's army there, ready to possibly attack, to throw pilers in. But as I say, the blue Scipio army of Spitfyr was integrated into the Pontus army of Royer. Over on our left flank here, you will see that Mantu's getting his well upgraded cavalry possibly round our flank. Remember that Mantu's cavalry has got 8 upgrades on, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack, and is some serious cavalry. And it wouldn't surprise me if he came round our left flank, as he can see that his teammates are kind of attacking our right flank there. So as I say there, you can see, unfortunately, because there's a couple of big 121-man pike factions in this game, some people's computers find it difficult to run it at the proper speed, so you will notice a little bit of lag in this battle. But as the battle develops, you'll see that the units start moving at more of a normal speed here. Okay, so as I say, you can see Vidar there is already attacking the forward units of the Pontus troops there with his Carthaginians. But make no mistake, the blue Scipii army of Spitfyr will be throwing loads of pilers into the attacking troops there. Okay, you'll see here that TR has put one of his skirmish units there to try and soak up some of the pilers, where you can see the armor-piercing pilers coming in from the Scipii troops. Okay, so it might be interesting for you to see here that we've got Greek cities, Carthage and Gaul, okay, all attacking the forward units of the Pontus battle formation there. Okay, so you can see them really pushing in there, really aggressively on the Pontus pikes. But remember, as I say, the enemy archers are shooting into us all the time. I see there's some fire arrows coming into us. Remember, the fire arrows don't just cause casualties, but they lower the morale of our troops as well. You'll see I'm moving my green Brutia army over towards my allies at this time as well, but making sure that I'm facing the enemy SPQR and Macedonian pikes. Pause the game for a second here. Okay, so here you can see my green Brutia army with some Gaul troops and a couple of Greek city units there facing the SPQR troops and Steve's Macedonians there that may well try and push in on this flank. Okay, so we need to watch out for that. And as I say, you can see Mantu's cavalry kind of locked and loaded and kind of loitering with intent there, looking like he's probably going to come round our flank. Okay, and here you can see that Royer's got his Cappadocian cavalry basically in behind us. Lots of enemy cavalry there, plus those archers shooting into us as well. So as I say, when you go defensive, like we've done, all we can do is react to enemy movement. So that's what we're trying to do here. But when you've got loads of archers there from all different angles shooting in to you, that can be a problem. Okay, so you can see here Mantu looking to move his troops around to our other flank. There is infantry round to our other flank there, and you can see Steve bringing his Macedonian pikemen in as well at this stage of the battle. Okay, so see Mantu taking his infantry round our other flank there, while Steve comes in with his kind of like battering ram Macedonian army there that could well smash into us there with the long pikes of Macedon. Remember, his units have got the optimum upgrades on, 8 upgrades on his royal pikemen there. And as I say, you can see here Mantu taking his infantry and cavalry around our flank. Okay, pause the game for a second here. So this is a nice move by Mantu. I see him do this quite a lot. Can you see how he's kind of integrating his infantry units with his cavalry units there when he comes up against enemy cavalry? So there's no way that we're going to try and take on his cavalry, not with that infantry there as well. And also, if you notice on the other flank, can you see the Cappadocian cavalry ready to hit us as well? So there's a chance here we could get hit from 2 flanks at the same time. The Cappadocian cavalry coming in from our right, and Mantu's infantry and cavalry coming in from our left. Okay, so watch out for that. As I say, being defensive, all we can do is react to enemy movement, which is what we're trying to do at this time. See that infantry moving forward there, 4 units there. Probably still got their pilers, probably looking to throw their pilers in. Oh, that's good news for us. I think we might have just taken out the Pontus general, which would be that would be good news for us. Okay, so if you notice here, my allies are making some good inroads into the enemy troops. Okay, if you notice, not a lot of Pontus pikes left. So we've got our Greek cities, our Dacian and our Carthage ally all pushing in there. Sorry, not Dacian, Gaul. All pushing in there onto the enemy troops there. And you can see a lot of Pontus pikes have already been routed. Here you can see Steve here being very aggressive with his Macedonian army pushing in on us there. Okay, and you've got the SPQR troops there. Now this is a nice bit of support here by Fesen. Can you see how he's put that Spartan unit on the flank of my infantry battle formation there? Nice bit of support there, and that is to block any cavalry attack coming in from enemy troops. And as I say, our Gaulish ally here has gone into reserve with a couple of his mini armies there to try and counter any cavalry attacks coming in on us. Okay, so there's a general situation of the battle at the moment. Okay, now I'm going to move my cavalry closer to my infantry there. As I say, there's a lot of enemy cavalry loitering with intent around the battlefield there on our flanks and in behind us, so we need to be very aware of that. Okay, I'll be throwing loads of pilers into those Macedonian pikes, make no mistake about that. And as I say, over here, my allies have done really well, but here you can see all these archers here have been an absolute pain to us all the way through the battle. Okay, shooting it into us, into our flanks, into our rear. All these enemy archers here, as I say, a big advantage that they've got. And of course, because we've gone defensive, look, they can then move those archers round to any angle they want and just shoot into the flank or rear of our engaged troops there. So they are a real nuisance, and I would like to take them out if I could. Okay, so we just have to keep an eye on that during the course of the battle. As I say, Steve's Macedonians are really pushing him. But as I say, my Greek cities, Carthage and Gaul allies here are doing really well against Pontus and the enemy Scipii troops there. So really well done to them. And as I say, you can see the enemy closing in around our flanks. Okay, at this stage of the battle, you'll see Steve's Macedonians are trying to kind of batter into our battle formation there. Steve being very, very aggressive with his Macedonians. You can see that some of Mantu's SBQR infantry are there as well. Right, now meanwhile at the back here, can you see that Steve's moved some of his cavalry away? And what I was thinking at the time was, could I take out the Scipii general there? Okay, remember, taking out the Scipii general would take away a general morale bonus. There you are. That's the guy that I would like to kill, to take away the general morale bonus. Okay, so what I'm thinking with my 4 cavalry, because we're so, you know, vastly outnumbered by cavalry, I thought I'd try and charge into that general unit there like a bang as I smash in there. But I see all the rest of that Macedonian cavalry and possibly Cappadocian cavalry there is going to charge into me. And you can see the Scipii general has wisely been moved away. But there you can see the companion cavalry and possibly the Cappadocian cavalry coming after me. So what I thought I would do here is try and get rid of these pesky archers. Like I said before, have been shooting into us and causing us major casualties all the time. So there you are. You're going to see me now try and avoid the enemy cavalry while I go for the enemy archers here and try and take out as many enemy archers as I can. You'll see the Scipii general's brought his cavalry back. Now this was a great bit of support here by Vidar. Can you see he's brought his Sacred Band cavalry in, has hit Steve's companion cavalry in the flank and routed them almost on impact. So that was a great hit there by Vidar, but he needs to be careful of that Cappadocian cavalry coming in there, and you've got that other Macedonian cavalry unit here. But as I say, with my cavalry here, what I want to try and do is take out as many enemy archers as I can, because as I said to you before, they have been absolutely mercilessly shooting arrows into us from all different angles, causing us loads of casualties here. So I want to try and use my cavalry like a sweeping brush, if you like, and sweep up all these enemy archers before I'm intercepted by enemy cavalry. Right, you'll see here that Spitfyr is bringing some of his cavalry in there to try and stop me from taking out the archers. Meanwhile here, you'll see that my allies have done an absolutely fantastic job here. I think all the Pontus pikes basically have been routed there. So you've got Carthage, we've got Gaul, and we've got our Greek cities ally all working in combination there. And look at all the enemy Scipii and Pontus pikes and some SBQR infantry units that have now been routed by my 3 allies working together there at attacking that particular part of the battlefield. So really well done to them there. They've done well. But here you can see Steve's pikemen there and some SBQR infantry of Mantu's pushing in. You'll see that Mantu's got some of his infantry round our flank, attacking the flank of our troops there. You can see that TR has got some of his Gaulish infantry there to try and repel that attack. But oh my gosh, here comes that well upgraded cavalry of Mantu's. Get ready for this. You're going to charge in here. Watch out for the Gaulish impact. Bang! As he smashes into the Gaul infantry. But please notice how well the Gaul infantry holds. There's also a Carthage unit there as well, as you can see. So there's a combination there of Carthage unit and the Gaulish infantry there, holding that massive cavalry attack there by Mantu. So well done to those guys there, stopping them smashing into our rear. Meanwhile, over here you'll see that some of TR's infantry there are attacking some enemy cavalry, but he needs to be careful because he's a little bit isolated there, and I can see a lot of cavalry possibly smashing into those Gaulish troops. So as I say, he needs to be aware of that for if that does happen. But here you can see Mantu's cavalry charge has been kind of neutralized by our allies there. Here you can see my infantry and Fesen's Greek cities there fighting the Macedonians and SBQR infantry there of Steve and Mantu. Meanwhile, over here, as I say, my cavalry here has been trying to mop up as many enemy archers as I can. But remember, my first target was the enemy Scipii cavalry general. Do you remember that? I said to you, that's the guy that I really wanted to go for. So here, can you see now, I've changed the trajectory of my attack. I've left the archers, and I'm going to try and take out the Scipii general. Okay, that's just to give you a heads up on that. I want to get to the Scipii general, who is just there. I'd like to kill him. As I say, he is a worthy target. Take away the general morale bonus. I haven't got a lot of cavalry left myself, but I'm going to charge them in there and try and take out that Scipii cavalry general. Okay, now, just to give you a heads up on this, speed is the essence here. Okay, speed is the essence. I need to try and take out that general, because I'll tell you what's coming in behind me in a minute is a mass cavalry charge, I think. Right, so you can see here, I'm really concentrating on taking out that Scipio general, but I know Mantu's cavalry are locked and loaded and loitering with intent, ready to smash my cavalry. So I'm going to try and take that Scipio general out before I get hit. Meanwhile, over here, you can see that TR's infantry, as we saw earlier, is being smashed from the flanks here by Cappadocian cavalry. Okay, so it'll be interesting to see if they can hold there. Okay, you can see TR is sending reinforcements over to help. He sent 2 cavalry units over there as well. So he's trying to help that group of Gaulish infantry there. But here you can see Steve's infantry there, pikemen there moving in on us there, as well as the purple SBQR troops. Carthage there doing really well against other Macedonian pike units there. So there's a kind of general view of what's happening here, but I know that Mantu's cavalry will be looking to target my cavalry and finish my cavalry off. Whether he can get to me in time, speed is the essence. I'm going to try and kill that Scipio general there. And really attack, trying to kill that Scipio general before I get hit. Really trying there. I've got a feeling that SBQ, you're up there, Mantu's SBQ, well upgraded SBQ cavalry, looking to smash my cavalry there, but I'm still trying to kill. Can I kill that Scipio general before I'm hit by that SBQ cavalry? Come on, guys. Come on. Here comes the... Oh, there you go. Got him. Bang. Got the Scipio general just before I got smashed by a torrent of well upgraded SBQ cavalry there. So I managed to do what I wanted to there. Took away the general morale bonus by taking the general out. Okay, I've lost my cavalry there, but maybe that was worth it. You can see Steve's units there pushing in, as well as Mantu's SBQR units. Here you can see we're still trying to hold our flank there with our Greek cities ally and our Gaulish ally there. But over here, do you remember we saw TR's infantry looking like it was getting smashed and crashed by enemy cavalry? Well, they've held their luck and they've killed a heck of a lot of enemy cavalry there. Look at that Cappadocian cavalry. As I said to you, on paper they look really good, but once you get into combat with them, you find that they're not that great, to be honest. And here you can see Spitfyr is bringing some more units over here to attack some more Carthage units. You see Steve's pike unit there, one of Steve's pike units there, or 2 of them there, still hold him. But just to give you a heads up on this, I told you about the cavalry advantage the enemy team have had. 20 cavalry units to our 10. Just watch out for Mantu's SBQR cavalry. Remember, he's got 8 upgrades, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack on Mantu's cavalry. Okay, now you might see a battle-changing cavalry charge in a minute. Just to give you a heads up on that, but we'll just have to wait and see. Okay, but here you can see some Cappadocian cavalry looking like they were going to charge in and then routed. Did you see that? Okay, so watch out for the SBQ cavalry coming in behind us. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm surge attacking with what I got left of my infantry. Okay, I'm surge attacking there to help out my Gaul ally and my Carthage ally in that particular part of the battlefield there. Okay, so I'm actually surging forward. That's the first surge attack. I should be looking to follow that up with another surge attack onto those Macedonian pikes. Right, can you see my troops there are moving forward there? Right, pause again for a second. So, as I say, look at Mantu's well-upgraded SBQR cavalry in behind us here. Okay, is there going to be possibly a battle-changing cavalry charge here by Mantu's well-upgraded cavalry. Okay, let's just see here. You can see he's got his cavalry ready, locked and loaded, and he looks to me like he's going to charge in when he's ready. You can see TR's facing in with his Gaulish infantry there. You can see my infantry. Now watch my infantry surge. I'm going to surge forward again. Right, see my infantry surging forward here. Mantu, I think, was just waiting for that. He's going to charge his cavalry in. Get ready for this. Could this be a battle-changing cavalry charge? Bang! As he smashes into us there. But can you see he's like run into a quagmire of our infantry there. Kind of took the sting out of that attack. His cavalry are still penetrating, look. But they kind of ran into, like I said, into a quagmire of infantry, didn't they? That kind of slowed them down. Here you can see Steve's Macedonian cavalry charging as well. Oh my gosh, TR has just lost his general there. Okay, but that cavalry charge of Mantu, as I say, the quagmire of infantry that he ran into there just slowed up the impact and penetration of that cavalry hit. There you are, it looks like his general's just been taken out as well. So that's good news for us. And you can see there that I think most of Mantu's cavalry has now been routed. You can see Steve charging his companion cavalry in there like a bang as they smash in there with their 9 charge bonus. They probably pull the cavalry back, lock and load them and look to charge in again. You can see my infantry surging forward yet again there. You can see a lot of rallied enemy Scipii infantry coming back into the fray there. You can see that, and there's an SPQR cavalry coming in there. Look, bang! As he smashes in there. Mantu's got a couple of his rallied cavalry units that he's just charged in there, but they were very battle damaged. They're probably tired as well, I'm guessing, so they didn't get to, you know, the full benefit of the charge that they could have there, because they were so battle depleted and probably tired. You already can see those cavalry units there. You can see how battle depleted they are, and yes, they were tired as well there. But remember, the blue Scipii troops are the enemy of Spitfyre's troops there. See Steve still ramming that cavalry in, pulling that Macedonian cavalry back, locking and loading them, and then charging them back in with their 9 charge bonus. So nice move there by Steve. You can see another Scipii unit coming in on our flank there. But once again, I've surged attack with my infantry. My Gaulish ally is attacking as well, and we've got Carthage units in there as well. Over here you'll see a couple of Mantu's SPQR units fighting some of Vidar's Carthage units there. So you can see there's not a lot of units left on either team here. And as I say, you can see this scrap. There's SPQR cavalry going in again like a bang as they smash in there. But just tired and so battle depleted, they're not going to have a lot of effect there. And you can see there that one of them's been routed. The other one was killed to a man there. Look, didn't rout, got completely taken out. But you can see a lot of enemy Scipii units starting to rout now. And I think if I remember right, there might be just 1 unit left. There you are, Steve's. Stevelongshanks, his Macedonian general unit, is still alive. A couple of the enemy team have just admitted defeat, if I remember correctly. So just Steve's general unit there. Moving towards that Greek city unit. He may well avoid that Spartan unit. Yeah, there you are. That. He's going to run round the Spartan unit. He may well want to go for my green Brutii troops or Vidar's general. Now, this is something that I hadn't spotted before. Can you see that Vidar's general is the only man left in the general unit? Okay, so the general unit has been wiped out apart from him. So they've lost 81 men in that unit, and he's the only one left. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if Steve maybe went for the general if he spotted him. I'm not sure. We'll just see there. Yeah, there you are. You can see Steve is attacking that other battle-depleted Carthage unit there. But I would think we will attack that Macedonian unit at any moment now. Just to finish off, as I say, I believe that is the last enemy unit left. There you can see Gaul there, TR moving his infantry forward there, our Carthage ally, and you can see my Brutii infantry moving forward as well. Steve had turned to face a threat with his pikes. I'm thinking there you are, I got his pikes down, but bang, we've hit him there. Notice how we get units in behind him and then attack from the rear as well. Remember, trying to attack a barricaded front door is sometimes it's better just to go around the back, and you might find the back door open, if you see what I mean. Okay, so it looks like our team has just about managed to go on to win the battle here. But if you notice, it is reasonably condensed battle here. Over here, like you can see, that's where that Macedonian cavalry was hit by the Sacred Band cavalry of Vidar. Over here you can see that mass of Cappadocian cavalry taken out by TR's infantry and those couple of cavalry units he had there. So well done to Gaul there, holding so well against cavalry. Here you can see just with the piles of dead laying in the long grass there. That's why you can't see the bodies so clearly, because they're laying in amongst the long grass there. And over here as well, you just see the intensity of the fighting here just by the amount of dead that you can see. If you notice here, the units that we have got left are very, very battle depleted. Over here, like you can see another cavalry, looks like a cavalry battle there. I think that's where my cavalry got taken out at the end, taking out that Scipii general there. But over here, as I say, if you look closely, you'll see that our units are very, very battle depleted there. And I think the Greek cities general may only have 2 or 3 units left there. And as I say, in the general unit of Vidar's, the general, the only guy left. So that just goes to show how tough this battle was there. And with Greek cities losing so many units as well, once again, it just bears testament to how tough the fighting was. And there you are, that's a Macedonian general just been actually killed there.
Victory by the decree of fate, perhaps, but victory all the same.
And as I say, that's the that should be the end of the battle there, yeah. Okay, so the first thing I'd like to say is really well done to everybody in the game. I thought everybody played well. Okay, now the main reason I want to show this battle is because it was a close victory. We rarely get close victories these days. So like I've said in other battle videos, when we do get a close victory, I really like to show that battle. Highest kills in the game goes to Brotherhood member Vidar. He's got over the magic 2,000 kill number there. So well done to Vidar with his experimental Carthage army. As I say, you don't see Vidar bring Carthage very often. So well done to Vidar getting over 2,000 kills. Now, if you look at the enemy kills, look at Royer's kills. Good kills there. Over 1,000 with Pontus. Right, Steve there, look. Well over 1,000 with his Macedonian army. Okay, look at Mantu's highest kills in his team. And well done to him. And then well done to Spitfyr. Just look at the number of enemy kills there. I mean, that is really good kills, isn't it? Fantastic kills. My kills, yeah, I'm quite happy with those kills. Not too bad. I was quite defensive for a while. I say well done to Fesen. Look what he did with his experimental Greek cities army. Great kills with that. As I say, Vidar, highest kills in the game. And well done to TR. He'll be disappointed he got less than 1,000 kills. But like I was saying, if you look at the number of enemy kills there, I mean, and then look at one of our teammates got less than 1,000 kills, just goes to show how close the battle really was, doesn't it? If you just look at the kill numbers there. What about faction advantage? Okay, so we've got Rome, Greek cities, Carthage and Gaul. That's our team. And they've got Pontus, Macedon, Rome and Rome. So do you think that either team had faction advantage? Please put your thoughts in the comments about that. It's always nice to see what you think there. So as I say, unusual for us to get a close victory. I hope you enjoyed it, and please put your comments, your thoughts in the comments. It's always nice to read what you think about our battles, and bye for now.